I'm Eric Newton, and this is The Together Show. We all know relationships take work, but what is that work, and how do we do it? As a former divorce lawyer, I've watched thousands of couples break up firsthand. Having seen the worst in relationships, I decided to try to help couples stay together. So on this show, we talk to real couples and find out what love really looks like.
I don't think love is supposed to be hard. Love is supposed to be easy when it's right. If you don't make the choice that you're going all the way for it, then you're going to have problems.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for joining. As always, if you like what we're up to, please subscribe to our show on iTunes. It's free to do, and at this stage, it's the best way that you can support us. So thank you. Now, on to our couple. We hear a lot of the same advice about how we're supposed to make our relationships work. We're supposed to communicate. We're supposed to build trust and develop teamwork. And we're never supposed to go to bed angry for some reason. And one of the reasons for this show is to explore and unpack what people really mean when they say these things. Trust, specifically, is quite tricky to pin down. Pearson and Ellyn Bader, the couples therapists in episode 11, did the best job of giving us an academic definition for the term trust. Today's couple does the best job of exemplifying that trust. Cheryl and Tom Clifford have been together for 40 years, and during that time they have experienced their fair share of challenges and joys. The common thread that has held them together throughout all of it, however, is not just love, but it's a deep and abiding trust in one another. So deep that from what I can tell, they don't even notice that it's there much of the time. They don't talk explicitly about trust until near the end of the interview, and when they do, what they say is pretty surprising. I won't give that away for now, however. Instead, let's go to Cheryl and Tom Clifford for their interview. So how long has it been?
We're going to celebrate 37 years married in January.
Yes.
And then if you count the couple of years before that, almost 40 years.
Wow.
I know.
That's really impressive.
I was only
Congratulations.
3 months
Thank you.
old when we met.
A lot of people didn't think it would last. I mean,
No, we were babies, though. Yeah. You know, when you think about it, we were 18.
18 when we met,
Yeah.
and at our wedding, she wasn't even old enough to legally drink. She was still only 20.
Wow. And 2 kids?
2. Yeah,
Two.
2 boys.
And how long into the marriage were you when you first started having kids?
5 years.
Oh, so you waited a
Yes.
little
You
bit.
did.
Yes,
We
we
did.
did. Yes, we went.
Was that on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you talk in advance about, these are the issues that we need to address before having kids?
Yeah, I don't know that it was about specific issues, but we knew that we weren't ready to have kids, that we needed to grow up a little bit
Yes.
ourselves and spend time and enjoy each other as a couple before we had kids. Even though, we heard in the back, each of our mothers going, so when is this going to happen,
Right.
that kind of stuff. But, we waited till we wanted to.
So paint the picture. You've been married for 5 years, but I'm guessing you guys were adventurous. You seem like an adventurous couple. So I'm guessing you're probably pretty adventurous and you were having a good time and there was passion and romance and all these things. 5 years into it and then a kid. So tell us what was that like? What changed?
I feel like we incorporated being parents and having a child fairly smoothly,
into your life.
into our lives because we were ready. You know what I mean? It made sense to us. So there was no fighting it. It was all about, all right, we're doing this. Let's have some fun. We're going to try our best. And we had very supportive parents, grandparents in the,
Were they local?
Yes,
Yes,
they were.
yeah.
They
Oh,
were
that
all
helps a
local.
lot.
Yeah, especially my mom was there, and she wasn't a pushy grandparent. She was just like, you do whatever you want to do. I will be there to support you.
Right.
And that's what she did. And so I worked part-time when they were little, kind of just very close by. But I just remembering loving it, and
It was a whole new experience. I mean, it was something different having mean, it didn't take anything away from us loving each other. It probably brought us together even more. Not that there was
oh, that's interesting.
a gap there.
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, we always worked together as a team ever since we met each other, and so having the child around, the first one, again, falling back that we were experiencing things for the first time, and we still loved each other as well as loving the child, and it just worked out for us to.
Yeah, I mean, it enhances. If you go into any experience when you're married with a positive outlook, it's going to enhance your marriage and your relationship.
Right.
But you got to have the right attitude.
And okay, so having the kids wasn't. I often bring up with our couples that when I was a divorce lawyer, which was my career before this, and most of my cases were child custody cases, a lot of the divorces would happen around when the kid's 1 or 2, because intimacy between the couple tends to drop, and sex life tends to get a little bit dry during that period, and nobody's sleeping, and all the stresses of having children, and some people just don't make it through that.
And I think that that's unfortunate, but that doesn't have anything to do with the baby.
Right.
That has only to do with how your relationship is and what you're willing to put in or not put in.
Yeah.
I mean, sex is great, but there are times over years that there's going to be low, valleys and high mountains, and you can't. That's not the most important thing when you have a
you can't
long
base the
relationship
relationship on just the sex.
But I think that makes a big difference, because Tom never, ever made me feel like I was not doing my duty.
Right.
Because it wasn't my duty to do.
Yeah.
It was something that was our special time. And when we had it, it was really special. And if we didn't, we still had other ways of having special time.
So when you say that the relationship isn't about sex, I think everybody can agree with that. What is the relationship about then?
Well, boy, that's a big question.
Yeah, it is.
He gave me something when we were first dating. Oh, no, I gave it to you, the medallion. And I put on the back of it, let's experience life together.
Yes. It was St. Christopher's medal.
Yeah. And that kind of puts it right into perspective. That's what we're doing. That's what a relationship is. I mean, we're great together, but we're also great people separate. We have, and we support that in each other. So I think that's, why it's fun. And it's fun, yes, but there's, downtime because it's life.
Let's experience life together.
Yes. That was so romantic when she put that on there. I opened it up and I cried
because we were just dating at that point.
Yes, it was before we got married.
Yeah.
When did you know that you two were going to be lifers?
I don't think that we ever said, "Dang it,
we're going to be it forever.
We are it. This is for life." I mean, it was sort of
You didn't say it in the vows?
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it in the vows, but we also wrote our own vows.
We wrote our own, and it has been a while, so I don't remember.
I don't remember them either, so you're off the hook.
Good, because I'm sweating like crazy right now.
I don't think we ever said, we're going to be together forever. I think
not prior to getting married.
But we grew into it.
Into the idea of
it.
Yeah, I think we loved each other. Not immediately like the first date, but it was.
No, we had a connection, and
we had
then
a definite connection, and then maybe within a year or so.
Yeah, he was quite the ladies' man. So
Hammer was a player. With a name like Hammer, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they used to call him Cliff when I met him, but I was the third Cheryl in a line of Cheryls. So.
Third time's a charm, right?
Those odds. I mean, how many Cheryls are there? You think
there's quite a few. I don't know.
And they were all spelt with a C.
That's right.
Because a lot of mistaking it for an S, but
yeah. But going back to the whether we knew it or not.
No.
It's sort of like what I said. Time flies.
Yeah.
And now we still kind of look at each other and go, holy crap.
Yeah. So if you didn't know it was forever, why get married?
That's a good question. Because we kind of knew, but we didn't vocalize it. We didn't.
Right. Neither one of us stepped up and said, "You and I are going to be together forever." I think, but we just decided we loved each other so much it was that we wanted to get married.
Yeah.
And I think maybe at that time we
were young, when we were idealistic, and we did have, a couple of parents say, "You're too young to get married," and we're like, "No."
And my parents both said it'll never last.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Maybe that's where we decided it was going to last.
Because I was the youngest of 9, so my parents had experienced a lot with
divorce,
brothers getting divorced and remarried numerous times.
He was their baby, so I was robbing the cradle, kind of.
Yeah.
I can completely understand that, though, from their perspective.
Yeah. If my son at 20 wanted to get married, I'd slap him.
Wow.
That's powerful. But how can you say that? Because it worked for you.
I know.
It did.
And you would never be able, would you ever be able to know, do you think, if he was in love with somebody with whom it was for real?
Yeah, I think
Our son? Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the oldest one, because he has just recently in the last 2 years fallen in love and had a baby. And that was not something we saw in the near future.
No, we did not. He was always a gamer. He loved playing games, and even through college, playing games. And we'd tell him, "Boy, you need to get out and socialize." And
then
he waited till he was like,
he
was very shy, and he waited till he was like 29. And now they're getting married next year.
But I guess what I'm getting at is, how do you know? I mean, you two knew, and your parents thought you were crazy, and now you're saying that maybe you wouldn't know if you were that young.
You know what? I think it's because, I think when you're young like that, you don't know what's ahead of you. You just know what you feel right at the moment.
Yeah.
And you know that we loved being together. We always had fun. We talked.
We used to love the dance. It was dancing.
Yeah.
And so are you just lucky that didn't fade?
No.
I mean, is it just luck?
No.
I don't think it's luck.
No, it's not luck.
Maybe
I
for
can
some
tell by
people
looking
it
at
is,
you
but
it's not luck.
No. Because I would not, and I can say this for Tom too probably, I would not be with a person that didn't respect me and love me the way I think I should be loved.
Right.
And I agree.
See? He agrees.
Now, so the only interaction that we had before this interview was an email that you sent me.
Yeah.
And in it you alluded to, do I have it here? No, I don't have it with me. You alluded to some rules or some, rules about marriage.
Oh, like the 3 things I think are most important.
Is it that? You have 3?
Is that what it was? Yeah, I think that's how I put it. About, what did I say? I said about not saying, one of the most important is not saying words to each other that, are
you're
bad. You're going to regret because you cannot take words back. No matter how much you apologize, words are so powerful and they hurt. And we have never, ever said anything. And I have to say this about Tom. He has never, ever, ever said a word to make me feel demeaned in any way. Period.
Wow.
Never.
It takes a lot of self-control, I think. I just wrote a blog article called "Words Are Like Toothpaste. Once you squeeze them out, you can't get them back in."
That's right. You can't.
So you got to be careful about what you say to your loved ones.
That's right.
And I don't know, probably a week after I said that, the love of my life, who I'll be with forever, probably, and I had a fight, and I said stuff I regretted. I just did. I saw it coming out of my mouth. I said, "What are you saying?" And as I said it, she felt bad. I immediately started apologizing, but it was already done.
It was already done.
Right.
And
It's too late.
I know better. How do you, 40 years, you've never done that.
It's respect and love for her. And I mean, I have a lot of my friends. I'm in construction, so there's a lot of cursing and whatnot in construction. The way guys talk about their girlfriends and their wives, and I hear other guys say, they call their wives "my old lady." I've never called her "my old lady." That's kind of disrespectful in a way. A lot of them use the B word. I've never called her that. I don't know if I could say that or not, but
Yeah.
I've never disrespected her that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt her. I may have unintentionally a few times in maybe another way. Not something I said.
No, not something you said. But I think it's easy when you actually live with someone and you respect them.
Right.
I think it should come easy. I don't think love is supposed to be hard. Love is supposed to be easy when it's right. And if you don't make the choice that you're going all the way for it, then you're going to have problems. You got to, even if you don't, if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to admit that you want to be with someone for the rest of your life because, it's not the thing to do. Yeah. Let it go. Who cares? It's nobody's business but your own anyway. And I did say to you, sometimes there's relationships that aren't meant to last forever.
Right.
We're going to grow old together.
Yeah.
We still got quite a ways to go.
Yeah, long time to go, yeah.
So I'm just thinking about, when a disagreement does happen, you've got you guys fight, right? I mean, you're humans.
Not fist fight, because she would beat me up. But
yeah, no, we argue. I call it arguing.
We argue.
You argue. Yeah, that's a better way that's a better word for it.
We never really fight. We don't fight.
You argue. Okay.
We argue.
And when you argue, the nature of an argument is that you have a position that you think is important deep down in your body, and you defend it. And a lot of times you can feel it. Like, I really got to defend this. It's extreme, and you're threatening it in some way. And I need to tell you, back off. You're threatening this thing that I believe is very important. I mean, you guys are giving me faces.
I don't think we've ever gotten to that point
No.
where we really felt that strongly about having to defend something.
But then again, it's usually the minute things, the little things that we will discuss or have arguments about. You know, I don't know. You should have turned back there. No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we argue about.
Yeah.
When
It's
it
not
comes
really an
to
argument, but
well, yeah, I mean, we can argue about that. But when it comes to the really important things, we don't usually have a difference of opinion, which is interesting because maybe that's part of what makes it work is that we kind of have the same idea about where we want to go in life.
Yeah.
yeah, we both know what we like, and I know what she likes. She knows what I like. So if she's really adamant about something that she wants to do, and I may not totally agree with it, it makes her happy, and as long as she's happy, I'm happy. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad because she bought another pair of shoes or something like that.
Well, all right. Now, I don't want to beat this horse if it's dead, but historically, what was your toughest argument? What was the hardest one you guys have dealt with?
God, it's really sad, but I am at a blank. Can you remember anything?
I mean, not too long before the wedding, we kind of got into an argument.
Oh, yeah, that's
I don't
right.
even remember what it was about that night. It was something about the wedding, but it was like...
No, it was when your father told me that you're not married to him yet.
Okay, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
And so how did that? So then what happened? How did that come out?
He hadn't gotten to my house yet for dinner, and I was calling him. This is before cell phones. I was calling him on the house phone, and his father answered and said that he was not leaving yet. He wasn't ready, and I'm going to have to wait. I'm not married to him yet, and blah blah blah. And I was like, So of course this is a month before the wedding. Sends me on a crying spree. Oh my God! What did he say to me? So, when Tom got over, he's like, he's just he just is doing what he's doing. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it to heart.
And that was the end of it?
Yeah.
You guys are too easy. Come on.
I don't know.
20 years ago, didn't even. No, if you don't fight,
but
you don't fight.
We have arguments, but we don't.
We've never had any type of an argument or dispute where either one of us has said, I'm not sleeping with you tonight. I'm going to go sleep in the other room.
That's true.
We have never done that.
Even though we could
go to bed with letting it go.
Yeah.
Have you
do you have arguments like that with people with other people? Do you guys get angry with other people?
Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah, but I'm not one to he's not one to verbalize that kind of anger anyway. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going to make any difference. That person is not listening to me.
And then we normally just laugh about it, even if it's one of my friends that just did something really stupid, and we argued about it. And I come home and I'll tell her, and we both laugh and just that's his problem, not mine.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's maybe we just blocked it out. Maybe we just don't remember. And that's the honest truth. Yeah. He's looking at us like we're crazy.
I just don't believe you.
He doesn't believe us.
The honest truth is I don't think it's possible for two humans. We were just talking about this. Maybe you guys are proving me wrong. I don't think it's possible for two humans to be in an intense dynamic and not step on each other sometimes.
Oh, no, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
You're asking when we've ever fought.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe it doesn't express as a fight, but there are these moments where you squish each other. Or you get hurt feelings, or you feel shut down. You're like, this person in your head. You're like, oh, I hate him right now. Or,
no, I've never thought that.
Okay,
she's never said that.
No, and I've never thought it either.
No.
Never.
I don't know.
But
hate's a big word.
Hate's a big word. You're right. But something, right? I mean, you have these feelings of icky feelings. They're going to manifest in the relationship somehow. They're going and they you too. You're giving me the vibrating lips answer.
Wow.
That's just you guys.
Damn you.
All right. Actually, though, that's a good moment to say, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Together Show, the podcast about what's really going on, as hard as it may be to believe, in relationships. And I've got a million more questions.
Yeah,
but
I think
let's
that horse is down.
So I want to try this from one more angle.
Okay. Go for it.
So what's interesting to me, specifically about you guys, is what you have to teach everybody who's listening. And it's my view that every couple's going to have some kind of a challenge, disagreement. Fight is probably a strong word. But there's something going on where people are going to feel upset at some point in the relationship. And the question isn't necessarily what is it that they're fighting about or what do the fights look like. The question is, how do you recover?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you build back to that feeling of unity after that happens? And you two have been together happily for 40 years. I mean, it is so obvious looking at the two of you. You guys gaze at each other. 40 years of gazing at each other doesn't happen by accident. You're doing something.
Right.
And I suspect that part of it is how you recover from those difficult moments. Do you have a sense of what it is that you're doing when that happens?
Probably. I mean, we listen to each other.
Right.
We know when to I think we both know when to not say something and to let it go.
Definitely.
We're
both open. We're pretty open to each other.
We never lie.
No. We don't lie to each other.
No. And here's something that I think makes a difference. I've never had any reason to doubt what he's telling me is true. So that makes it easy that when we're talking and if we're having a discussion about something and he's on one side of the fence and I'm on the other, we know that that's what the other one feels and is true for them. So, but we know that we can't change the other person's view on that.
Nope.
So if it's something that, luckily for us, maybe it's luck. I don't think it is. When it comes to the big things in life, we've been pretty much on the same side of the fence. So I think the key to getting past any, either it's hard feelings or not agreeing about where you're going, is you got to talk it out.
Right.
You can't just let it simmer.
You got to have a good sense of humor and laugh about it later
time.
too.
Yeah.
We laugh about everything.
We do.
We're going to laugh about this when we leave.
We are. Yeah, we can tell you some odd times where we've laughed that, other people go, what were you laughing about? But
well, that's your second rule that you sent to me in the email.
oh, you found it. Okay.
Yeah, that I just pulled up here is you've got to laugh a lot.
A lot.
There you go. And we've talked about this forever. We have you got to have a sense of humor. You got to have an open relationship and communicate with each other.
Yeah.
You just have, for couples that don't talk, they got problems.
Yeah.
You got to come home, and I may have had a horrible day at work, and she's home, and she's ready for me to walk in the door and give me a kiss and
listen to whatever you have to say.
Whether she really wants to hear about my goofy stuff at construction sites, but
well, and when the kids were little,
talk.
he would come home, and I would, he would come to me for, he'd say hi to the kids, but he would come to me, and we would sit there for however long, and he would tell me about his day. And if the kids interrupted, we would say, "Hey, wait a minute, we're talking about Dad's day," or whatever. It was easy for us to do that. And once you get into a habit, and it's a good habit.
So this is one of the themes that we hear all the time from couples in here and everywhere. Successful couples always say you got to communicate.
Yes.
And I always think to myself, okay, I agree. But what does it mean? What does it mean you got to communicate?
You got to be honest.
Be honest and just ensure each other.
Not be afraid to say what you think you need to say. As long as it's not something to hurt the other person. That's where we're still talking about words being really, really important and strong and powerful. But and not beating a horse. You know what I mean? Sometimes stuff happens, and
it's life.
Somebody makes you, he did something that annoyed me. Whatever. I let it go. I just let it go. It's not important.
Yeah, you've hit on that a few times, and it's really nice. I think it's an extraordinary skill. You say it like it's easy, but letting it go isn't something that everybody can do just by saying so. But you two seem to be able to do that. Tom, you're nodding your head a little bit to that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's a hard thing to do sometimes.
A lot of people just can't let things go. They suck it up inside, and it just beats them to death from the inside over something silly that's not going to make a difference in anything.
But it layers.
It
layers.
And that can develop into something even worse with the relationship. So you just talk about it and let it go. Move on.
Yeah.
That was so yesterday.
And and that is something that you have to learn how to do.
Yeah.
And I think we learned how to do it. I mean, we've had times in our lives where we've both had some issues with anxiety because of a lot of stuff going on the outside of our marriage.
Yeah.
Especially with family being ill, and we experienced that a lot when we were first married. So, when you start feeling that anxiety and you need to let it go, and the other person sees it and encourages you to let it go, that helps a lot.
Right.
Yes.
Because even though you don't need permission, we give each other permission. And it doesn't really matter in the long run because you don't need permission to do anything. But that means that person supports you, you know?
And I supported her when she went through her anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was a little rough for me because I didn't know what she was actually going through because it wasn't me experiencing it. I just saw it from my side. And that was a little rough at first. But then when I started to understand it and was there to help her and support her, and then a few years down the road when I started suffering from anxiety, and now I kind of knew what she was going through even more from the inside because I was actually experiencing it. And it was that she supported me then.
When you first tried to give her the support that you thought she needed, did you have a hard time knowing how to do that?
Yes, I did. I definitely, because I didn't know, again, what she was really feeling other than a fast heart rate or just a fear of going out the door. I didn't know what to do at first. I just tried to encourage her. Everything's going to be okay. And, I would take her, or we would go somewhere, and I was just there for it. And I eventually learned that, I'm here for you, and this is what I'm going to help you do. And it helped me because, like I said, when it affected me a few years down the road, I kind of knew then, wow, this is what was going on inside her head.
Yeah.
Because I had a fear of even going out the door for a little while myself, and I knew, wow, this is bad. But she was right there with me saying, you already know what's going on. Stick with it.
But that's part of experiencing life, is that we were experiencing those different things. And because we had, I always knew we had a united front between us,
right,
against whatever was going to come at us. And sometimes life can be a bitch,
So that united front is another theme I've been hearing from you a lot in this interview. The concept of team.
Mm-hmm.
We are a team.
Yep.
And you guys have been a team since the beginning. What do you have to say about that? It's a broad-based question. Let me be more specific even. There is this third entity for the two of you that's very palpable, which is the relationship itself. There's each of you individually, and you have your distinct personalities, and you're both very engaging. But then you have the relationship. It's its own thing, and you both are very focused on it and feeding it all the time.
Yes.
And that's what I think of when you say team. I think of that third entity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if you've known that from the beginning and been conscious of it from the beginning.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
And how do you do that? How do you feed the relation? How do you give focus to the team as opposed to your individual?
I don't think that we take it as two separate focuses. I think just it's one focus. Period.
I think when you focus on yourself, and being a good person, then it makes it really easy for the focus to continue when it comes to the team situation. You know what I mean?
Call.
Yeah. Good call, thanks.
That was a good example.
But yeah, we've never had a problem doing things together and making decisions, and because we knew we had each other's back.
Yeah.
And even if it was something completely new.
Yeah.
We go with it.
And sometimes we don't like it, and we're both like, "Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, neither did I. Oh, let's not do that again." So.
Not every team wins every game, obviously.
No, but I don't know. But what's winning?
Having an experience together. If you listen to your.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about trust?
No doubt.
You have a ton of it. How do you build it?
I don't think you can build it. I think you got to just do it. There's no such thing as building trust.
Wow, that's a paradigm shift. I've never heard anybody say that.
Whoa.
You can't build it. You can just do it.
Just do it.
Right.
Say more about that.
Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I never didn't trust him. Have you always trusted me?
Oh, every single second.
That's right, baby.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's
probably in the beginning of a relationship, you experience things where you figure out if you're trusting someone.
Yeah. Like you're sort of testing the waters.
Yeah, you probably. I mean, it's hard to having been together for so long in the beginning. But I think I always trusted you, even from the moment we met. I mean,
we don't give each other a reason to not trust.
Yeah. I mean, so it's just there. You either trust somebody or you don't.
Can you define it?
Define trust?
Yeah. Can you define it?
I think it's a total comfort level that allows you to move forward anytime. It's something that it's like that extra, I don't know, comforting hug almost. It's easy, it feels good.
Does it have anything to do with knowing that he is who he says he is,
Yes.
doing what he says he's doing,
Yes.
and behaves the way he says he's going to behave? It's your expectations that he set for you about him are being met.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what happens if you get like a momentary glitch? He says he's going to do something, doesn't do it. I mean, obviously none of the big ones have happened for you guys, like
No.
infidelity.
She
but
would know that there was a reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what it is, too. I mean,
Yeah. Trust is about the big things.
yeah,
You know, the little things are just about living with each other and hanging in there. And, you know, if somebody is not doing something, I know if he didn't do something, it was for a really good reason.
yeah.
and
And
she
that's
also knows
his
if,
reason, not mine.
Your trust goes so deep that when trust gets broken, you trust there's a reason that it was broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was broken,
yeah,
though.
yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
You guys.
He is really trying, isn't he?
You guys are so good. All right, tell me this. Do you ever give kind of advice or counseling to younger couples? Have you ever done anything
They
like that?
ask us. They ask us all the time.
We do have a lot of friends that are 20 years or so younger than us, and some of them are married, some of them are single, and they do ask us sometimes, how do you guys do it? And
What do you say?
it comes down to the same thing we've just talked about a few minutes ago. You got to have a sense of humor. You got to be open. You got to communicate and have a great attitude.
I trust.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell people. I mean, it's up to them to figure it out
That's
themselves
right.
what's going to work for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is what's worked for us.
Yeah,
Yeah. And not every relationship needs to last forever.
that's right. You know, it's just like friends. You have friends that come in and out of your life. Family, chosen family, whatever. I mean, it's easy when you can see it. You
Yeah.
know when it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys keep it pretty easy and instinctive. It
Yeah.
seems like there's a lot made up about how marriage is important to the fabric of community, fabric of society, and I think there's something to it. I think a bond that's strong and is healthy and works does definitely strengthen a community. You two just roll with it.
Yeah, you roll with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some moments in the past couple of years that have been, tough, and we rolled with it. I remember a guy, one of his friends told me when we first met, he says, how do you handle being with Cliff? How do you handle being with him all the time? He's a crazy, what?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I can hang with that a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I can roll with the punches. And because he was kind of he still is a crazy person, but he's funny as hell to have around, you know? So
That could be funny. But that's when people that's when people open themselves up for that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you guys, I can tell you guys are looking at each other like, I don't know if we gave him enough for this show, but I got to tell you, I have gotten so much out of this.
Are you sure?
I am not kidding. I have so much to talk about with Charlene after you guys are gone.
All right.
And it's
Hopefully
actually
it's good.
It's good. We've pretty much hit our time. And here's my last question for you. What's this about the cherry?
Oh, yes. So show them your tattoo. I mean, people can't see it, but
So
you tell the story. You tell the story.
When I was,
It's a great tattoo.
it's
Really, it's
don't know
a
if you can
black
make it out.
it's a black background of a tongue.
it's kind of an antique background
Tongue's
with my
mouth.
nose and my mustache.
Oh, your mustache
and my tongue out licking a cherry.
and the background is all black and it looks very antique, and then the
Antique.
cherry is bright red,
Bright red.
and very modern. Yeah, that's a great tattoo.
So when Cheryl and I first met, we used to go to a little venue in Oakland that was for under 21. They didn't serve alcohol, with live bands. And she happened to walk in with a group of her girlfriends one night, first time I'd seen her. And some of my fellas and I were hanging along the bar, and I used to drink cherry Cokes. And when she came in with her group of friends, I had told my guys, see that brunette right there? That's me right there. And so as she proceeded to walk by me, I took the cherry out of the glass of Coke, And I held it up in the air, and I asked her, "Excuse me, does this happen to be yours?" And I proceeded to lick on it, and she thought I was a total jerk that night.
Because that was a pretty slimy way to meet her, wasn't it?
Back in 1976, it probably was.
But you were drinking cherry Coke.
Yes,
That's at a bar with your buddies. That's the opposite of slimy. You're the most wholesome guy. Cheryl, how long did it take you to figure that out?
That night
Wasn't a
I thought,
jerk.
oh, you're such an idiot. What a jerk. And I kept walking.
She did, and she called me that.
But my friend was kind of hanging out and
Yeah.
fooling around with his friend. And we kind of ended up being kind of in the same circle over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we started dancing together. And, you know, he liked to dance.
And I wasn't such a jerk then.
I love to dance, and I never really met a guy that liked to dance and could dance, you know, that had a beat. You know, he was white, but he could dance. And so we just kind of started hanging out, and then I was supposed to go to my senior ball, and the guy broke up with me that was supposed to take me to my senior ball, so I had my dress and my tickets, and I asked Tom if he would go with me instead.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it worked out. And obviously, I said yes.
Obviously. Yeah.
And that was the beginning.
That is.
And so we got the tattoos for our 30th anniversary, which was.
Oh, did you? And you? What did?
I have one on my back.
Same tattoo.
No, it's just it's kind of an antique, and it's got cherries in the middle, and
Yeah, not the whole tongue thing
It has
on
the
hers.
year. Has
Yeah.
the year we were married, 1979.
Guys.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Getting the tattoo together, that was fun.
When our boys got old enough for us to tell them that story, they thought, "Dad, that was pretty weak."
That's one of the worst
But it
lines.
worked.
But how old were you? I mean,
18.
I was 18.
You're 18. You can't expect
that
an 18-year-old
we
to
were
have a
both
good line.
18.
That's a pretty bad line.
But he
it
had
worked.
But he had sunglasses on,
In a
a
nightclub.
hat, and he had a sweatshirt, a PE sweatshirt with the arms cut off, and a picture of Parliament Funkadelic drawn on.
I drew it on her with a Sharpie.
With
That's
a
pretty cool.
Sharpie.
That's pretty cool.
So, you know, that's a
P.
whole
Funk All
vision
Stars.
there.
Yes, sir. And I don't know that it was really me or the cherry thing. Maybe it was the T-shirt and the sunglasses. I don't know.
The whole package. She saw through it. Somehow that was the foundation of developing trust.
That's right.
And
He was honest right from the beginning.
You guys, it's a hilarious story. You two are the most adorable couple.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I want to close the interview with a quick game
Oh,
of
God.
this or that.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
here's
right.
how it's going to work.
All right.
I'm going to ask the this or that question, and we're going to alternate who answers first, but both of you have to answer the question.
Okay.
Okay.
All right? Superpower. Flying or invisibility?
Invisibility.
Flying.
Okay. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Cake.
Candy or popcorn?
Candy.
Candy.
Big or small?
Small.
Big.
Save or spend?
Spend.
Spit.
That is that right there probably sums up why this relationship works. Spend.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
that's
and then
funny.
my last question, live forever or die in the next 5 minutes?
Ooh.
I want to live forever.
Yeah, I could do that if I'm with him.
Oh, you guys. I just melted. Thank you for that. Perfect answer. That definitely sums up the interview.
That's it for Cheryl and Tom, folks. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to us on iTunes. It makes a big difference when you do that, and we very much appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to be on the show, please reach out to us via one of our social platforms. You can find our website at www.together.guide. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/togethershow. Twitter and Instagram are both at together_show. Or you can email me at host@together.guide. Our producer is Charlene Goto. Our web designer is Courtney Munna. Our art director, and my one and only, is Aubrey Pick. She's the whole reason, and she's sitting in the other room editing her photographs right now, folks. I can't wait to go over and snuggle her. Thanks once again to my guests, Cheryl and Tom. Tom, seriously, the cherry? I cannot get over that. That's all for today. See you next time.